Okay, I think I'm live. Um, yeah, I think I am. Not really sure. Can can you hear what I'm saying? Let me know if you can hear what I'm saying. We should be live, hopefully. I don't do this very often, so I'm not really good at it, and I'm not really sure that I know what I'm doing. But here's what's happening. What's happening is the county of Sonoma is in a national emergency because there is a 75,000 acre fire burning between Geyserville, Sonoma, and Windsor. And we in Santa Rosa are southwest of that. The majority of Santa Rosa has actually been evacuated. I am in a small little sliver of the county that has power and hasn't been evacuated. And I am feeling incredibly grateful and lucky. And I'm also full of nervous energy and I don't know what to do with myself. And so I thought I would try and see if I could do a live stream. So here we are. I haven't actually done any of these in forever, and my internet service is it's kind of iffy, so I don't know how well it's going to work. Normally, when I do an upload, it takes like an hour to upload a 10-minute video to YouTube. So I figured I'd do it this way so you can't see my mouth, so then at least if it got out of sync, you wouldn't see some weird out of sync stuff. Um, and here we are at my lathe, and you can see I was sort of horsing around with cardboard. This was an idea I had, and it's just a cardboard bowl, and this is just glued up with regular old wood glue. And I got a pretty decent cut out of it, but it's kind of fuzzy, and I don't think it's going to work. So that's not what we're doing today. Basically, if I'm honest, I'm basically just here to talk. So if you're expecting something amazing, this probably isn't the day for that. I just need to get out some energy, some nervous energy. And again, I'm one of the luckiest people in the county right now. My house is still standing. We didn't get evacuated. We still have power. I have absolutely nothing to complain about. And so I'm not trying to complain. I'm just saying, I guess I'm just saying, I don't know what else to do with myself, so I'm going to do this. So thanks for stopping by, and hope you don't mind a less than well-produced video, because we're just going to horse around. So I just did a turning demo at my club. I did a casting and turning demo, and you only have a short amount of time to show basically a room full of 40 retirees what resin is and why you'd be interested in it. And I'm not sure I convinced anybody. I showed up with a charcoal bowl and a bowl full of Fruit Loops and told a bunch of old guys that resin was neat, and I don't think they bought it. So, but this was the outcome, was this half turn blank that I made, and I think it's really pretty, and I want to see what it looks like. It's a piece of maple, and I cast a really pretty emerald resin dye in here, and I just kind of want to see. I want to see what it looked like. So let's see what it looks like together. And you may or may not have noticed that I got a new lathe. It's an old lathe, but it's a new lathe to me. This is a Nova DVR XP, and it is two things that I didn't have before. One, it's variable speed, and the other is it's a much larger swing. It's actually 16 inches. Um, it's a beautiful lathe, and I love it. And I think it's like 6 years old, so I'm happy to have it. For me, all of my used tools are my best tools. And the Rikon was fine, but this is so much better. And I bought the Rikon new. Mm. Coffee, cup of coffee. You see my coffee mug? All right, I'm gonna put the coffee over here. I don't get shavings in my face. And what national emergency is a question that just popped up. It's called the Kincade Fire. It's a wildfire burning in the state of California right now. It's 75,000 acres. So if you did a search on Twitter for Kincade Fire or looked up CAL FIRE, which is the organization that is currently battling the fire, there are 4,500 firefighters in the county right now trying to stop the fire from encroaching on nearby populated towns, and they are working tirelessly, and they will be working tirelessly for probably the next couple of weeks. It is a thankless job, and they are amazing at what they do. Are we back? My laptop just rebooted right in the middle of the conversation. I have no idea why. Are you guys still here? Your laptop should know. All right, looks like people are saying we're back. Okay, so hopefully it stays running this time. I'm not sure what happened. Did this get moved? That looks a little, let's move this down a little bit. You don't need to see that much of my legs. I don't need to show off my legs that much. All right, I think that's better. Is that too much light? You guys see things okay? So, and is this camera set up for auto focusing? I don't know what I'm doing at all. It may or may not be focused on something. Okay, I have no idea. So this is a piece of maple. This is the same maple that I used on the Secret Wood Wand. And actually I used a very similar color for the resin because I liked it. And it was for a turning demo that I did at my turning club. I don't know how much of that conversation you guys heard. But I mean, let's just do some turning. Isn't that fun? That's the lathe turning on. Okie dokie. Thank you, lathe. Thank you for your little weird song. We're going to start turning. So I set the speed here instead of with belts, which is super strange. My Rikon was all belts, but this is a variable speed motor, and it's all controlled by a processor on the computer. jumpy right there. It's interesting. We need to go a little faster. The nice thing about spindles, with spindles you can actually turn up the speed quite a lot. We're at, let's go to 1200 RPMs. And this is my skew chisel, which you both love it and hate it. The skew chisel is basically just a sharp piece of steel, and 2/3 of it will destroy your piece of wood, and this 1/3 in the middle is your sweet spot. So. But you can get a really nice finish with the skew. I'm still getting a little bit of chatter. I can feel kind of bumpy. All right, so what this is a handle kit that Rockler sent out to me years ago when I first signed up with Rockler. They sent me out a ton of stuff. Most of it was things I really had no use for, but a couple of these really cool kits. That mat that I use all the time was probably my favorite thing they've sent me. But they also sent me these turning kits, and I wanted to give one of these a shot. So it's just a threaded insert that's holding this in, and then we can, so this is the end that it's going to attach to the pizza cutter, and then this is the hand, that part that we hold on to. So I want to give it some shapes. I guess I'll use my Easy Wood tools. So with handles, I actually like to stop and actually hold it, kind of get an idea of where it should be. Like anything bigger than that is going to be stupid. So let's define the end of it so we know where to stop working. Say right around in here. Yeah, that's probably more than enough for a handle. The spindle sounds inappropriate. We all know what's up. Yeah, everybody does. It'll be well sanded. Do with it what you want, I suppose. if I really like that bump right there. It's kind of weird looking. I think I'm gonna make that into a cove. You probably can't even see it. Let me see if I can zoom in here. I don't really know what I'm doing. Pizza cutter made out of cast pizza. Okay, that's a cool idea, actually. All right, controls. Is there a way to zoom? There has to be, right? Configure video. All right, it's a little clunky. We can do it. Hey, look at that. I think we're controlling. Oops, I blew it. Okay. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that a little better. Is it washed out? Is there too much light on it? Bend up one of my lights here. Feels washed out to me. Yeah, digital zoom sucks. It is what it is. Trying to get a little closer for you. Okay, so anyway, we got this little bump right here and I don't like it. I'm going to turn it into a cove. It almost has a cannon-like shape to it now. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That'll work. I like that. That's better. Oh, it feels better too in your hand. You've got a little place for your thumb to push up against. Yeah, that works. I like that. It does look like a cannon. I agree. So I'm just going to sand it a little bit just to see what it looks like. Let me go grab some sandpaper. We'll start with 120, 150, excuse me, 120, 150, 180. You guys don't normally sit here while I do the sanding. This takes me a long time. You'll see why I cut through all the video when I'm doing this. So generally with sanding, I start at the highest grit I can. I've done a really poor job, probably because I'm thinking about other things, like the fire. The winds are supposed to change here in the next hour or so. We said we're going to have a high wind event. We had a really big one on the weekend. I actually stayed awake all night Saturday night, so I woke up at 7 a.m. on Friday, and I didn't go to bed until 9 p.m. on Sunday. So that was a really long day. And again, I didn't do anything. There wasn't anything for me to do. I was just waiting to hear if there was an evacuation order. And there never ended up being one in my location. So I basically just was exhausted, worrying, watching the news, watching all the Twitter feeds, trying to keep up with what was happening. So it is what it is. I'm incredibly thankful to be where I am and to be as lucky as I am when so many people are not only displaced but have actually lost their homes and are under immediate threat of wildfire. Uh, it's a scary time. And it's hard too because the county, we went through this 2 years ago in 2017, and it was inside the city limits that time. Actually, a fifth of the town burned down. It's terrifying. So everybody here is just kind of on edge. You just don't want to come into Sonoma County and say the word fire. It kind of freaks people out, you know. But so just trying to clear my head. Thought I'd come out here, talk to you guys, see if there's any questions I can answer. Hopefully this old laptop keeps going. I don't know why it cut out earlier. And we're jumping. Where'd that go? Ta-da! Jumping up to 180. Got my little cannon-shaped handle. Kind of like it. Cannon in resin. Taco Bell would be proud. Bonus magic trick. Thank you. Ooh, that maple's actually, that's really pretty. I knew I liked this stuff. It's the ones I got from, there's a salvage yard here in Santa Rosa. No, it's not. It's in Petaluma. It's called Heritage Salvage. And I picked up the redwood that I used on a couple of things. The Minecraft torch and the rose. I picked that up at a place called Heritage Salvage. And I also picked up this maple there. It's a really cool salvage yard. If you're in the Petaluma area, I would definitely check it out. Guy who runs it goes by Bug. He's super nice, and they're all really friendly in there. I made him a pepperwood bowl way back when, before YouTube. He actually gave me a piece of wood if I promised to give him a bowl. So I made him this really cool pepperwood bowl. It's natural edge. If you go into the shop, it might still be in there. You can see what I used to do before the world of resin. Yeah. All right. It's looking good. We're going to keep going. So that was 180. Let me grab some more sandpaper. Here's all my sandpaper. Running out of sandpaper. I have them all laid out in little blocks, but I need to restock all those blocks. Okay, so this is 240. That's 320. And then I need 400. 800. 400. Got it. Okay, so this is 240, 320, 400. It's funny, this resin and wood sawdust smells a lot better than the ash from the fires. Everybody around town's wearing their masks again too. It's super creepy, but completely necessary. I haven't actually been out too much. Went out, got gasoline, went to the store, buy some more water and some necessities to get us through the week, but we didn't want to buy too much since, again, we're not displaced. We've got stuff in the house. Our power never went out, so our fridge never stopped working. So we don't want to buy a bunch of things from the store that might be a necessity for other people. So we're doing fine here. Last year, when Paradise burned down, was also terrifying. I tell you, California, this wasn't supposed to be a yearly event. I mean, you talk to a Californian from 4 years ago and ask them what the number one natural disaster in California is, they all would have said earthquake. And now I don't think anybody's worried about an earthquake at all. But yeah, we hadn't had a fire in Santa Rosa since the 60s, and now we've had two inside of 3 years. Well, let's hope this doesn't become a yearly occurrence, because I like living here. But this isn't any fun at all. All right, now we're on 400, I think. So you sand like this, hand sanding, so that you get the scratches going with the grain of the wood. And then it kind of disappears. Now the wood sanded, you don't need to sand past 400, but the resin's not. If I stopped with the resin right now, it really wouldn't be that good looking. So we're going to keep going. It'll make the wood look a little better, but it won't get too much better looking than it is right now. Let's just see if we can get some of the dust off. We can get a look at it. Yeah, you can still see how many scratches there are still in the resin. It's very cloudy, lots of scratches. The wood looks beautiful, but the resin's still really scratched up. So, but I think I'm going to turn this tenon off here, this butt end. That's the technical term, the butt end of this. I'm going to turn off its hiney and let its little buns be free. Be free, little buns. That's the reason my 13-year-old doesn't like me to go out in public with her, talking about buns and heinies. All right. we go. It's a good looking handle. Oops, a little loose. This happens. Okay, so we're making a handle for a pizza cutter, and I just cut off its little bunions, and I should have done that earlier so I could sand it. So now we're gonna quickly sand its rumpus. And basically all I'm making is talk. I'm just here to talk. I hope you guys are okay with that. And the laptop's over there, so I can't actually see anything that's happening unless I stop doing this. So I apologize. I'm not ignoring you. I guess I am. I'm not ignoring you for any other reason than I don't think it'd be safe to be sitting here with 1,000 RPM piece of machinery staring at a laptop. That would be a really bad idea. And I think we've done enough really bad ideas this week. Let's not do any more. Cool. Out here for the butt jokes. You're right. Do not stalk me. That is what's happening. All the things that get filtered out when I have a editor in place, that I edit all that garbage out. Okay, what were we at? I don't even remember. What number were we at? 600? I'm going to go back to 400 again, just to try to tie all of this in together. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of ghosting a little bit. It shifted a little bit when the tailstock's not up. Too bad. That'll actually make sanding a little bit more difficult. Yeah, it's kind of rocking now. Can you hear that? It's not running true anymore. Oh well. Just a tool handle. Sit in the drawer most of its life anyway. 600. And 800. And then we'll do a little hand sanding. Try to get some of those scratches to go away. If you've watched me, you know the only point of sanding is to get rid of the scratches from the layer before. Now, are we doing micro mesh, or are we going to try some of this paste stuff that I got from England? What do we want to do? Do we want to do micro mesh? Let me grab it. We want to do micro mesh, or do we want to do, oh, can you even see that? That is super bright. Or do you want to do Yorkshire grit? Both work. I like micro mesh. I'll let you guys let me know though. Paste, 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 micro mesh, micro mesh, micro mesh. Why not both? Yeah, you know what? Why not both? So I would normally do micro mesh wet, but since there's wood, it won't work. So we're going to do it dry, which means you can't spend as much time on each grit. And I don't think it's going to work as well today for two reasons. One, because we're doing it dry, and two, because it is now slightly off center now that we've taken the tailstock up. So we might actually not get as good a finish with the micro mesh as we normally do. So actually that works out perfectly. So we'll get to try out the Yorkshire Grit. I used the Yorkshire Grit once, and it worked pretty well. I used it on my cork bracelet. That was it. The cork bracelet worked pretty well. You can still see some scratches. It wasn't as good as my micro mesh, but it was pretty good, and it was a heck of a lot easier. I'll tell you that. It took a fraction of the time. So maybe it'll save us today. All right. I love micro mesh. There are 9 pads, and if you take, oops, see, I just burned it. That's what happens when you're doing it dry. It'll burn. You got to be super careful. I don't want to do any more of that. Yeah, this is good. I'm glad we're doing both. I'm going a lot faster on these too. All right, that's fine. It is what it is. Dice. That's cool. I get a lot of requests for dice. I guess it'd be fun. I don't have any geek friends, so I'm like the only person in my circle of friends that would ever even play D&D. So I've never actually played a traditional board game of D&D. I've played a lot of Wizard of the Coast computer games that actually have the D&D roles in them, but never actually played a classic Dungeons and Dragons game. We did make yard dice once. Those were fun. I've actually used those quite a lot since we made them. It's fun to play Yahtzee with a giant set of dice. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a real good polish today. It's not bad, but you can still see a lot of scratches. We could do better. All right, micro mesh. You did as good as you can. The fact that it's dry and out of center, out of round. Let's call in our friends from across the pond. So this is Yorkshire Grit. It is a paste wax that has an abrasive built into it. I think it's like a pumice stone, and so it breaks down as you polish it. And all you do is you apply it on here where the lathe isn't spinning. And well, it already looks nice. That is a beautiful resin and a beautiful wood. And then you just push your paper towel up against it, and it'll break down the aggregate in there to smaller and smaller pieces, which will give you a higher and higher polish. It comes in 2 canisters, black and white. The black canister is the standard micro mesh, and then the white one is the micro fine. And again, I really haven't used it much, but the one time I used it, it worked pretty well. And it's easy. You're supposed to stop at 600 grit with this stuff, which, I mean, takes away all the fun of sanding. I think I'm the only person on the planet who likes sanding. All right, so how long do I wait? Is it done? It's not supposed to be able to overheat it. Let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks pretty nice. Yeah, this looks pretty nice. Oop. It's got a nice feel to it. All right, let me take back the digital zoom here and try to get a better angle. Okay, got this little Joby. Let's see if we can't transfer the camera. maybe if I haven't used this in a while, it's all bound up. Focus on that. Can you focus on that, little fella? Little fella. It's on autofocus, which is part of the problem. Let me move it over here. Maybe it's better. Anybody's going to get nauseous, now's the time. Sorry about that. It actually looks really nice. Yeah, it's actually really pretty. The wood looks pretty too. It's very highly polished. You would almost think that that's got a CA finish on it. It doesn't. That's just raw wood polished up with the wax on it. Kind of like the micro mesh. It's not bad. I said it wrong. See that? My Freudian slip is showing. Kind of like the Yorkshire grit. It's not bad. Oh. Sorry, it's my stool. It's making weird sounds. See if I can move this over here. Try to get the focus a little better. Yeah, it's just hard to see. I think it looks really good. It's just the camera. It's as good as it gets. It's a nice camera. Somebody actually sent that to me a while ago, so I appreciate that. I don't do a lot of live streaming, so I've never upgraded it. But, yeah, I think that came out pretty well. All right, I'm gonna try to move my laptop. See if we can get both of us in the frame here. Where's my coffee? Focus looks good now. Awesome, thank you. Maybe wipe your lens? Yeah, I could try that. It's kind of fun. And then in order to assemble this, all you do is it just unscrews like that. So Rockler sells all the bits you need. They sell the mandrel, which is held in the Jacobs chuck, and then the rest of the stuff comes in the kit. And as you can see, it's just a threaded insert, goes in the end here, and then oops, that's the wrong box. Dang it. What did I do with the other one? It's actually a pretty sizable pizza cutter. It's massive. And so this unthreads, and so you don't put this part in the dishwasher. So the handle unthreads and you stick that somewhere else. And then this stainless steel part can go in the dishwasher. It's actually really handy. Oh, and this is the insert that comes in the kit. And if you buy the kit and the mandrel, then all you need to do is pick a piece of stock and you've got everything else you need. It's kind of fun. I don't know how long it'll hold up, but we've got a new pizza cutter, which looks like it also worked pretty well in the zombie apocalypse. The thing's massive. It's got a lot of weight to it. I could knock out somebody coming here. Mm. Oh, did you see my coffee cup? It's a new design we've got in the store. I look a lot cooler as a cartoon lumberjack than I did in real life. But it's the gummy bear axe. All right. What do you want to talk about? I'll talk for a little while. My chair squeaks. We can chat. Are you getting the new COD? Call of Duty? No, I'm actually playing The Outer Worlds right now. So I've been sitting at home playing The Outer Worlds, and it's fun. It reminds me of an old BioWare type game. It's definitely not a replacement for the Bethesda games. The world isn't as open and free as those, but it's fun. It's definitely fun. I like it. I'm enjoying it. Redo the axe. Yeah, the axe is that was one of the craziest things I've ever made. Let's talk about turning some pineapple. Hey, Mike. Good to see you. I told Mike Downs forever ago that I would turn pineapple if I ever upgraded my lathe. So I don't know if I'm going to break a promise or if I'm actually going to do it. So I'm not even sure how we're going to turn pineapple. It'll be a colossal mess, but maybe we should. I do have the old Rikon sitting over here someplace right behind me, so I could take it out back and turn pineapple. I don't think today's the day. I think my neighbors are already a little on edge enough. If some weirdo was out in the backyard screaming and laughing with a turning pineapple, they'd probably call the police at this point. Dark Souls, never played Dark Souls. Don't like games that make me feel bad about me playing games, so I don't play those. But it looks awesome, but it's not for my temperament. What did you do before pen turning? Um, video games, I guess. I still have a job. I still work. I'm actually off work right now because all of our offices are closed. So YouTube's not a job for me. It's just a side gig, just a side thing, which is why I only do like one video a month. A better blowtorch. Yeah, maybe not. Hmm. Favorite game of all time? Fallout New Vegas? Skyrim? One of those two. Definitely one of those two. I'm definitely a Bethesda gamer. Before those days, I would say Arcanum. If you guys have ever played Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura, Arcanum was a fantastic game. Came out in 2000. Super buggy. It's isometric. It's an old style game, but yeah, definitely not. It's not really playable anymore, I don't think. Is it possible to turn carrots or sweet potatoes? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe we could do that. What do you do other than YouTube? I have a full-time job. I'm a network analyst. I'm a network engineer. I make the network and internet go. I've been doing that for, holy moly, I've been doing that for 20 years. Yeah, I have a tech job, like half of California. Legend of Zelda, that's a good game. Ocarina of Time, obviously. Did like Breath of the Wild. Finished that. It was really fun. Yeah. All right. So you guys want to? I mean, that's all I had, but I could show you around if you want to see some stuff in the shop. I'll be happy to do a quick shop tour, talk, look at stuff. Does that sound good? Yeah. Let's do that. Let's see how well we can make this camera work. Let me turn on some lights. All right, let's do a quick walk around the shop. This, oops, I turned off autofocus. Let me turn that back on. Okay, so this is the turning station. This is my new old lathe. As I said, it's a Nova DVR. I really like it. I'm in a wood turning club called the Wine Country Wood Turners, and a club member sold this to me. It was purchased new for probably $1,800. He sold it to me for $800, so it was a really good deal. I want to say it's like five years old. It's a good lathe, variable speed, huge upgrade over my Rikon. This little Rikon, you guys have been seeing me turn on this exclusively for the past 5 years. I've owned it for 9 years. It is one of the only tools that I've ever bought new, and it's fine. It's fine. It does the job. This is a sturdy, well-powered, heavy-duty, variable speed lathe. Super happy that I bought it. There's a sharpening setup. This is actually called the Kodiak. And it's called the Kodiak. If you're a wood turner, then you've heard of the Wolverine, which is what I've used for years. So this gentleman made a new jig, and he called it the Kodiak because Kodiaks eat Wolverines. And these are CVN wheels, which are industrial diamond coated wheels, so they never get smaller. It's incredible. My tools are the sharp as they've ever been. Pressure pot. This whole area over here is basically my casting area. This is where people have actually sent me tons of stuff to try to cast in resin, and I've showcased a lot of that in my videos, but there's still a lot more that I haven't. One of my favorites that I'm going to try to figure out how to use soon. This is a Ponderosa pine bark that was sent to me by a viewer, and I don't think I could turn it as it is. It's just too fragile, but I think if we stabilized it, we could totally turn it, and it would make a really beautiful project. And I got perler beads and just about everything you can imagine. Cork. Oh, this was a recent experiment. You recognize that yet? A little closer. It's toilet paper. It's a toilet paper roll. Stabilized toilet paper. If we can figure out the process, hopefully we'll be doing that pretty soon. It's hard. I don't know if it'll work, but it's definitely getting there. There's the Carvey. My shop tools. I don't think it's any. Oh, gummy bear axe. You guys have all seen this before. It's not a very big shop. I'm in a two-car garage. This is my welder. Hobart actually sent me this, and it was very nice of him. I enjoy using it. I'm not a very good welder, but I've definitely done some welding, and it seems to work pretty well. Over here is the bandsaw. Back there is the drill press. And then on this table, I've got my belt sander, and that's the Kreg pocket hole jig. I actually won that in a contest on a site called Instructables. I posted my secret wood ring in their wood contest, and the grand prize was a bunch of stuff from Kreg Jig. So that was kind of cool. Oops, I'm going to show the screen. That's not what I want to do. Yeah. And then here's the center. I've got my welding table, which is usually full of garbage. That is my Delta Unisaw. Delta Unisaw is made in 1950 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It is a beautiful saw. Took me 10 months to restore it. We found it in a barn, all rusted. And I got this table saw extension router off Craigslist for like 150 bucks. Ooh, this is the best idea I ever had, and it wasn't even mine. I stole it. Oh no. Oh no. The wood's bound. This is a 1,000-pound roller, and my thickness planer sits underneath my my workbench. And obviously, I didn't account very well for the humidity. But yeah, one of the best ideas ever. It actually came from a YouTube channel called Beaver Country Woodworks, Dale Weineke, I think. And that's it. That's the shop. Over there is where I keep all of my resin. And we've got a few gallons of resin. Yeah, always have plenty of resin in store. And there's wood storage. That's all I got. They're legit drawer sliders. They're like 1,000 pounds they can handle. We are crooked. Anyway, so if you're in Sonoma County, I hope you're staying safe. If you're not, just know that we're up here and we're doing our best to be calm. There's not much we can do. Super thankful for the firefighters, emergency personnel, the county, the city, the police. They're all keeping cool heads, and they're dealing with a 75,000 acre blaze up here. And I'm just hoping that everybody stays out of their way. Yeah. Yeah, and if it comes close to my house, we're gonna leave. So we're all packed and ready, and you know, as I said, we're fortunate. We've got power. We haven't been evacuated yet, and if it comes to that, we'll leave. So there's nothing here that matters to me more than my wife and my kids. So thank you all for watching. I just needed to get out and do something in the shop. I hope you liked that. That was kind of fun. I think it came out really good. Still doesn't show up the shimmer. It's got some really nice shimmer to it. Yeah. Not a streamer. Bye, guys.